All right. So to demonstrate the BCSI credentialing process, I'm going to be playing the role I am a BCSI certified evaluator. So I'll be putting on my lab coat here, and we have a very brave volunteer to be tested live for you all today, Miria. And she's going to be our trainee that's going to be testing for one of our credentials called Documentation and SOP. The specific objectives of this credential are to test for the use and the accurate use of a batch record document while completing a standard operating procedure. In addition, we'll be asking Miria some questions about SOP compliance. So documentation in the biotech industry is incredibly important and subject to a lot of regulatory alignment. And so this is an important skill that students and trainees that develop in their training programs can take directly right into the workforce. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Miria, I'll have you put on your lab coat. And for those in person, I have a couple of things that you can kind of follow along with. Yep, this and this. So I'll be using a rubric to evaluate this credential on my clipboard. And so those in person will get a chance to see that rubric live and kind of follow along. And then I have a document that Miria will be looking at, a standard operating procedure document that she'll be evaluating. And I have a copy of that for those in person as well, right? Our goal, go ahead and have a seat. Our goal for our credentials is that they are efficiently assessed. We recognize that this is a labor-intensive process and also accurate. So you'll see me give an intro script to Miria, and then we'll jump into the specifics of this particular credential. Good morning. Our testing history shows that 15 minutes is a reasonable time to complete this assessment. If at any time during the assessment you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. And if you do make a mistake, stop and pause and handle it as if you would in a professional setting. Right? For your first task, please complete the procedure indicated on this batch record and complete the documentation required.
All right, can I have a moment to review the...
You can absolutely have a moment.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to put my name on the test. Use the pen. This asks for the operator name. Okay, all right. I'm going to go ahead and start.
Go ahead and begin.
Awesome. So I'm looking for solution A.
So on the table, we have a tube of solution A and a dropper that's labeled solution B. We have some pH strips and some forceps, a pen and a pencil for those.
All right, so it's asking me for the volume of solution A. So I'm looking for the volume of solution A. Writing it down. Yep. Okay, initial color. It's a clear color. All right, then it asks for the initial pH of solution A, utilizing the test strips. I need to write down, I have a question about the time. Is the 5 seconds crucial? Should I?
No.
Okay, all right. Okay,
it doesn't require to be timed.
Okay, awesome. All right, manufacturer of the pH strips, let's see. It asks for the lot number, so I'm going to go ahead and write down the lot number. All right, double checking lot number. Awesome. Okay. So now it asks for the initial pH of solution A. So I'm going to go ahead and Okay. Dipping my pH strip in for approximately 5 seconds. All right. I'm going to redo that.
Okay.
Okay. All right. I'm going to use the color chart to get the pH. Let's see. Now I'm going to sign for operator. Let's make sure. Today's date, which is 24th. Okay. All right. And then the time. I don't have the time.
10:18.
Thank you. Military time. Okay. All right. And I just need you to sign off for me. Verify. Please and thank you. Okay. All right. Moving to the back side. Right. So it says to add 14 drops of solution B to solution A. Okay. Solution B is right here. Record volume in a color. Okay, using the PA. Okay. New volume of. Okay. Let me go ahead and add that. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Awesome. All right, so now I have to record the new volume. All right, color of adjusted solution, still clear. Now I'm going to go ahead and get the pH of the adjusted solution. All right. 4, 5. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and sign same way. Put my name on here as well. And today's still the same date. Okay, and I'm going to pass it to my verifier. All right.
All right.
Okay.
Excellent. For task 2, I'm going to have you review an SOP document. Please indicate if there are any errors or concerns with this SOP.
All right.
You can report those verbally
Okay.
to me.
All right. So can I have another second to
Yeah, absolutely.
read through? Okay. All right.
All right. So what errors or concerns with compliance do you see with this SOP?
So this SOP has no document ID. Today's date is not January 14th, but also it's not consistent. On one side it says 14 Jan 14, on the other side it said January 2nd with no year as well. So that's an inconsistency. There's a cross out right here that should not be there. And then also if you look at the numbering, 4, 5, 6 is missing. It just goes from 5 to 7. I'm just gonna do a quick look just to make sure I got everything. Okay. Yes.
All right. Let's give her quiet because we're online, but round of applause for assessing that live. Thank you, Miriam.
Absolutely.
There's nothing like doing a live demo. And so I just sent you another email with the credential. And so what we're going to do is we're going to walk you through how Mary might receive the credential via email. We're going to cheat on one step, and then we're going to show you what you can do with the credential once you have it. This is the new one?
This is the old one. I'll refresh another time. I did not get the new one yet.
Yeah, of course not. You know, technology, it's great. Actually, you can go and do it from the old one.
Okay. Go ahead.
And so the first thing we'll have her do is, so she reads through the message. The message says, go ahead and download and install an app called the Learner Credential Wallet. So if you go to lcw.app, you can do the same thing, and she can go ahead and download and install it. And as that slowly happens, so the Learner Credential Wallet is a piece of software we put together actually with funding from the U.S. Department of Education as an open source software to allow individuals to carry their verifiable credentials with them. So this is a specific standard for how the credentials are described. And she goes ahead and has it downloaded. Go ahead and do the quick setup.
Go ahead.
Yep, go for it. So the wallet installs on either your iPhone or an Android phone. Very simple to do. Go ahead and take me to my wallet. This is where we're going to cheat a little bit. Go ahead and add the credential. So I've got a copy of the credential that I just emailed her. And we're going to scan the QR code. So there are a couple different ways to get credentials into the wallet. You can follow a link. Not quite yet. Or you can scan a QR code, or if you're really adventurous, you can cut and paste JSON. And so go ahead and accept, and go ahead and hit done in the upper right. And so now within the wallet that Mary has on her personal phone is her credential. So go ahead and take a look at the credential. And we'll see that it's verified. We have the title, documentation, SOP, the Bioscience Core Skills Institute. If you hit the little I next to it, we can find out a little bit more about it. So this is the information that we that anybody really knows about the organization that issued the credential. So we know the organization. That's part of the importance of the trust system within this. They've got a URL. We tell you which registry it's in, where they're located. Go ahead and go back. And then if you scroll down, you can see that it's today's date, Maria's name, the description, and the criteria that go into the credential. And scroll all the way down, please. And you can see the credential is verified. What does that mean? So let's go ahead and select the credential verified. We see it's in a registry we know about, so we know the organization issuing it. It has a valid digital signature, means it hasn't been tampered with. So we are cryptographically signing the credential, so we know if something's been changed within it. Hasn't expired, expires 2 years from today, since I got that right, and hasn't been revoked by the issuer. So these are the things you might do with a credential. They might expire after a certain period of time. You might revoke it for whatever reason. You may want to reissue them. You may want to change them, or somebody no longer should hold that credential. Go ahead and go back, please. So this is all great. So this is all on her phone. This is something that she can show to somebody else. But that's only so helpful, right? Because it's on her phone. So if you hit the 3-dot menu, please, in the upper right-hand corner, she can choose to share it. And she can choose to share it a couple different ways. She can create a public link for it. Go ahead and do that. The public link allows her to create a website, a link to this credential on a website. If you hit the view link, it'll open up on a website that DCC is running. It's the same credential. So we've taken that credential information, copied it over along with the same verification information so we know that it's valid. If you scroll down, slightly different view, but it's basically the same thing. And you can keep going a little further. So it has the same sorts of details about the credential. You can go back to the wallet, please. And so having a public link, that's great. So you can copy and paste that onto your resume, or maybe you want to add it to a LinkedIn profile. And so we've made that as easy as LinkedIn allows it. And go ahead and add to LinkedIn profile. And so it takes that same link and the same set of information. If you select the issuing organization and select the Bioscience Core Skills Institute, so that will link it directly to the organization that LinkedIn knows about. It's got some expiration dates and issuance dates on it, an ID, and the URL goes to the website that we just created. And go ahead and hit save and skip. And if we scroll down in Maria's profile, there's her credential. And so now she's sharing that with the world. So this is a real live credential issued by Bioscience Core Skills Institute that I just happened to email over to her.
I just hit share, show credential.
And so there's that same credential again. Let's go ahead and go back to the wallet. Okay. You can also scan that QR code. So if any of you are interested, you could take your phone right now, scan that QR code. That'll go to the same website page. For all of the folks that we know about online and in the room, we'll be able to send you a set of slides that have actual QR codes you can scan that lets you do the same thing. We're going to pause and let our one brave person try it out. So that should take you over to verifierplus.org.
Does it work from here? I'll try it.
We did have a question come in.
Yep.
How do we want to get their micro-credentials on the DCC registry?
So the registry is of the organization's issuing credentials. And so that's something we need to have a communication with them. There are a couple different sort of processes we've been using. It's a fairly small community right now, so it's easy enough for us to add folks to it as they ask. When we've done some of the work with JFF for some of the testing and interoperability work, they've come in through JFF saying, hey, we'd like to be part of this test. We vet the organization, we add them into the registry. It's a very simple file. It's the name of the organization, where they're located, and a URL. But we do all the vetting that we know that that organization is the organization. As we move forward to the future, you could see accrediting bodies in the United States maybe taking on that role, Internet 2, EDUCAUSE, those kinds of organizations for higher education. And then there are any number of sort of industry groups that might take on that role as well. Hopefully that answered the question for folks in chat. You can also send a copy of the credential. And I am going to do one quick thing. I'm going to thank Miria for her second demo of the day, the one where she knew even less about what she was doing.
Thank you.
And I'm going to switch over here for a sec. So one of the other things you can do with these credentials, so if I had chosen to send it, I'm not sure what's going to happen if I double click on that. So that's a whole lot of gobbledygook that everyone should be seeing. That's the JSON file. And I've gone to the web verifier, and so this is something that anyone can do. Only if I succeed in copying and pasting. And so you can take that code and verify it. So we can talk a little bit more in the next session. I think, Sharon, you're going to facilitate about what does this mean for employers, both with the credentialing itself and using it as part of a sort of a job application process or a promotion process as well.